So, we've been hauling freight for the Tholians for the last few months and the pay sucks, but at least the Assembly keeps us out of the hands of the Dominion, and we get clearance from the Azure Nebula asteroid base. Docking Bay 3 understood, Armiger out. This is my first visit to the Azure base of the Assembly. The industrial facility seems to be a construction yard and space dock of some form. I guess that explains the ship supplies I'm running this trip. It looks like most of the workers here are also under the Assembly's jurisdiction. It's the jumpsuits that give it away. From up on high, we can see the Tholians observing us from their climate-controlled decks, kept apart from us by necessity of biology, but also by status. We approach the first dock worker we see, Mr. Franklin Drake.
Do you have a question?
Who are you and what happened to your face?
My name is Franklin Drake. I was born on a little colony world on the edge of Cardassian space. After the Federation fell to the Klingons, a lot of people moved out of the war zones to try to make new lives. It worked. For a while. When the Bajorans discovered that wormhole and the Dominion invaded, no world, no matter how remote, was safe. I signed on to help fight the Dominion, for all the good that did. The Dominion swallowed the Bajorans whole, and then joined up with the Breen and the Cardassians to destroy the Klingons and the Romulans. After that, it was just a matter of carving up the Alpha Quadrant.
Really? I thought... No, that's right.
The Tholians got this piece of space in exchange for signing a non-aggression pact with the Dominion. It wasn't hard to see that the only way to survive was to sign on. Now I'm like you. I work for the Tholians, and in exchange I get a cot, a couple of replicated meals, and the chance to live for one more day. With a little luck, I'll get through tomorrow, too. Do you need anything else?
Yep, Captain Hale of the Armiger. I've got the Techosite shipment.
Thank you, Captain. The Tholian Assembly appreciates your loyalty. So many ship captains threw away their lives needlessly in the days after they annexed this area of space. It'll take a few hours to offload your cargo. Feel free to grab a hot meal in the commissary. I know that comforts can be hard to come by in this sector. I recommend the plomeek soup. It almost tastes like something. Do you need anything else?
No, I think we're done here. Let's go get some gruel. What are you looking at, Spiky? As we ascend to the common area, we reflect on current history. It seems after the disaster at Narendra 3 in 2344, relations with the Klingons soured and war erupted against the Federation. By the time of the discovery of the wormhole in the Gamma Quadrant at 2369, the Empire had overthrown the Federation. Then the Bajorans. Speaking of Bajorans, you look familiar. Nulia here has been working on this base for 6 weeks as a cargo tech, and she says she's seen me before too, but that can't be because I'm new to this place. Well, if you want a change of scenery, let me know. The Armiger could use someone like you, I think. Over in the far corner we see someone else I think I recognise. The name Tan comes to mind.
Hello.
Tell me about yourself.
For all I know, you could be informing on me to the Tholians. But if I don't answer, you'll probably tell them I'm hiding something. Fine. My name is Tatan. I was born on Romulus. After the war, I signed on to a freighter crew working the Bolian run. My captain got in trouble with the Tholians, and I ended up here. I'm a true and loyal servant of the Tholians, and I don't want any trouble. Now go away and leave me alone. I have work to do. Don't bother me.
Well, friendly lot here, I guess I'll fit right in. After the division of the Alpha Quadrant, the Klingons were the greatest power, but fresh from their conquest of Starfleet, the discovery of the Gamma Quadrant wormhole in 2369 led the Dominion to steamroll over everything left. Finally, we find the cafeteria and manage to order something.
I haven't seen you around here before, Captain.
Not interested. Hey, Riemann, is the seat taken?
It's too bright in here.
Sorry, didn't catch your name. And you are?
Why? Why would you care about me? No one cares about me. I don't even care anymore. Go away. Go away. and leave me alone.
Well, he's grumpy. Hey, wait, have we met? You look familiar. This Andorian introduces herself as the Chief. Tarsi mentions she's heard of an incident at Drozana Station where I allegedly cheated at Tongo, there's no proof, and I had my arms broken by some Nausicaans. That's a complete fabrication. They only broke one arm, and I sprained the other when I fell. Oh my god, I know you! You're Morn! How... Such a pleasure. How you been? Okay, you're talking too much, I'm going, bye. Hey, look at that, an Andorian and a Vulcan. Go find us a Tellarite and we can restart the coalition of planets. Too soon?
How can I assist you?
I'm being nosy. Who are you?
I'm Valkel Sean, captain of the Belfast. I run freight for the Tholians. Basic supplies, mostly. But once in a while, they need me to pick up dilithium from the mines on Remus. We're in dock here for a few days getting some repairs done. Cut too close to the Konos blast zone on my last trip back and ran into some raiders. They won't trouble anyone again. But they fused half my power conduits and fried the deflector before I managed to take them out. If there's anything else you need, let me know.
I'll bear that in mind. Hey,
Yes,
I've not seen a Vulcan for a while. Who are you?
my name is Tanae, and for many years I served in Starfleet. After the war was lost, I joined a resistance movement attempting to liberate the core worlds. We failed. We were able to keep the Klingons at bay, but not the Dominion and their allies. After the Breen destroyed Earth and the Dominion occupied Betazed, continued resistance was illogical. Against all reason, we continued our fight as our resistance cells fell, one by one. You might say I was one of the fortunate ones. I survived. I would not agree. Do you require anything else?
I will be free.
Will you now?
My name is Obasek. Once my people served the Romulans. Now we have new masters. I will serve for now, because to refuse would be my death. But when the time is right, we'll rise up against our oppressors and destroy them. If you would be free, watch for an opportunity. The Tholians will show their weakness soon enough.
Yeah, maybe, but until then, they're the ones with the giant mech suits.
Do not waste my time.
I don't have to, you're wasting your own. There's also a shifty-looking Cardassian, but his voice doesn't match his body, so I'm not going to be speaking to him. The Tholians here are locked inside environmental suits that double as power armor, and they patrol us constantly, guarding the entrance to the dockyards. With no one else left to talk to, I guess we'll go speak to the weirdo by the Replomat.
Got a minute to talk?
I do now, I guess.
Call me Castillo. Not a lot to tell, I guess. I'm Lieutenant J.G. Richard Castillo, Helm Officer of the USS Enterprise C, an unwilling time traveler.
Oh boy.
I'm normally the Helm Officer, but I'm Senior Officer now that Captain Garrett and the rest of the senior staff are gone.
You're living off for 60 years, mate.
Got to do what the Captain would want. Get us back to where we belong, and finish what we set out to do. I know this is hard to accept, but we're not supposed to be here.
Yeah, I'm supposed to be on Riser, but instead I'm new to this place.
I know. I asked around about you, and I don't know if I'm supposed to be telling you this, but I need your help. You're not supposed to be here. None of us are. Not in this timeline, I mean. My ship, my crew. We were supposed to do something important. We went through an anomaly, moved through time, and everything changed. We tried to go back. I guess the battle with the Klingons disrupted the anomaly. Instead of getting back where we belong, we ended up here with the Tholians running everything. I'd never even seen a Tholian before. You have to help us set things right. You have to help us get back to our ship.
You keep saying us, but aside from me, I only see one other crazy dude here. Who are you talking about? Who else is with you?
Me and my crew. There are a little over 100 of us here, scattered throughout the work camp. We're about 65 years ahead of where we should be, according to my math. We were fighting the Romulans. This was back in 2344. And the weapons discharges caused a temporal rift. We passed through, and because we weren't at Narendra to do what we were supposed to do, the timeline changed.
Right, yeah, I'm familiar with the history.
We ended up in a timeline where the Federation and the Klingon Empire were at war, and the Federation was losing. Badly. We tried to go back to set things right, but then the Klingons found us in the Enterprise D, and there's someone here with us from that timeline. Her name is Tasha. I'll take you to her. Maybe she can help explain this.
She better do a better job than you just did, because I am, like, 3 seconds of just grabbing the nearest Tholian. Castillo takes us to the bunks, where we can see a tall blonde woman talking in hushed tones with a Klingon, who then discreetly leaves as we approach. Okay, so perhaps there's a network at play here. Hi.
We need your help.
Straight to the point then, no chit-chat. You're not even gonna say hi?
My name is Tasha Yar. I was Chief Tactical Officer of the USS Enterprise D. In my timeline, we were fighting a war against the Klingons, and I was proud to do my part to protect the Federation. What I learned, though, in the correct timeline, history as it should be, I died a meaningless death. I accepted the risks when I put on the uniform, and I don't regret what happened. But if I'm going to die, I want it to mean something. That's why I chose to go back with the Enterprise C.
Okay. I might not call the Tholians just
I
yet.
know this is a lot to accept, but you have to trust us.
Well, maybe I would trust you if I actually believed all of this properly. And can you tell me what's going on?
I'm from Starfleet, and if I'm right, that's a name that should ring bells with you as well. In an alternate timeline from this one, the correct one, Starfleet is still alive and well, and you're a Starfleet officer too. When the Enterprise C moved ahead in time, it created an alternate timeline, one in which I was alive but shouldn't have been. I left with the Enterprise to set things right. We thought we were returning to the Narendra system in 2344 to defend the Klingon colony there from a Romulan attack. We ended up in this nebula in 2409. The Tholians caught us before we could try again, and you can guess the rest. We're going to try to restore the timeline, but to do so, we need the Enterprise C. It's still in the hangar here, and as soon as we get back to her, we'll find the temporal rift and get back to where and when we're supposed to be. To do that, we need your help.
Screw it, why not?
Franklin Drake is already helping us. He managed to get an access key used to operate the systems in the hangar control room. We need you to get the code from Drake and use it to open the doors to the hangar control room. I'd go myself, but we've already been here a week. The Tholians know we're trying to get back to the ship. They're watching us. But you're new. They won't suspect you're involved. That's the idea, at least.
So you've failed this before?
Of course it's not as simple as getting the code and opening the door. The Tholians have guards on all critical areas. You'll need to slip past the guards and get into the maintenance tunnels. From there, it's a winding maze to the hangar control room, which can only be unlocked from the inside. Once you get in, you'll be able to open the doors. We'll be waiting there to help you free the Enterprise.
Sure, my life ain't so great, so what do I do next anyway?
Here, take this communicator. It's on a scrambled frequency the Tholians don't monitor, and it'll allow me to contact you while you're on the move. Maybe you can convince someone to cause a distraction. That might make slipping past the guards into the tunnels easier.
Before we leave, we can spot an old man looking strangely at us.
This place isn't what it's supposed to be.
Why are you staring at me? Who are you?
My name is Neelan. I'm an Alorian. Some people would call me a wanderer. I go from place to place, listening to the universe, to the people, and then I look at you and this place and I can't explain it, but it's wrong. All of it. You're not supposed to be here. None of us are. Something's not right here.
Okay. Honestly, weird things have been happening to me since I got here. Could you just tell me, hypothetically, how things meant to be?
I can't see it clearly. I just know that something is wrong. That woman over there, does she have a daughter? Someone named Sela. I know that's important, but there are a lot of other things. I'm sorry, it's difficult to put into words. What I can tell you is that if someone asks for your help, give it. That will set things right.
And on the upper deck we find an elderly Klingon working away.
What do you want?
A holiday resort on Riser, what about you?
My name is Bavat. Before the Tholians conquered the Empire, I was the leader of a great house. I sat on the High Council and spoke for the Empire on more than a dozen worlds. None of that matters now. The past is nothing to a slave. I will die here in service to the Tholians, just like you will.
And finally, scheming away in the corner is a Ferengi lady.
You looking for something?
Depends. Who are you?
I'm Ferric. Wheeling and dealing is my game. At least it was, until the webheads put a stop to any trade that doesn't benefit them. Still, I know how to get a few things. You looking for bonus replicator rations? Maybe a bottle of authentic pre-war Romulan ale? If you've got something to trade, I've got what you need.
Well, this is all very surreal, but I have been feeling a little off recently, and you know what? I've got out of worse scrapes than this if it all goes tits up, so might as well see where all of this leads. Maybe the Tholians do have a Federation ship captured here. That would be something to see, at least. We find our way to Franklin Drake in one of the many docks of this place, as Tasha's recommendation.
Do you have a question?
No, but you have something for me, I believe. A key?
Take it. Here's a map too. You'll need it in the tunnels. I still don't know why I'm risking my neck for this. Don't expect any more help from me. The Federation fell before I was born. I shouldn't even care, but there's something about Yar and Castillo. I know they believe they can make a difference. It makes me want to believe. Do you need anything else?
With our access key in hand, we look for someone to make a distraction. First, let's try the Reman Obisek. He seems keen on freedom.
I will be free. Your plan is foolhardy. If you want to die, do it without my assistance.
Well, I guess you're all just bluster then, aren't you? Just out of curiosity, what if I try to make a run for it? Hi, ow! Okay. I feel like we got off on the wrong foot. Let's try this. Ow! Okay, yep, I get it. It's fine. Good job.
You looking for something?
Want to help us break a ship out of here?
Do I look like a soldier? I wouldn't take on those Tholian goons. Not even if you paid me all the gold plus platinum in the sector.
I may be a Klingon, but I am not a fool. Kahless once talked about a man who stepped outside to battle a storm. Kahless went to this man and asked him why he didn't seek shelter. And the man replied that he would stand before the wind and make it respect him. Kahless honored his choice and went inside. The man died. The wind does not respect a fool, and neither do the Tholians. I will not commit suicide, so you can make a pointless attempt at escape.
Cowardly Klingons. Who'd have thought? Well, let's see if a fellow freighter captain will lend a hand.
How can I assist you?
So we need someone to distract Tholians while we steal a legendary Federation Starship.
I don't remember the Federation, or Starfleet. The war was almost over before I was born. This is the only life I know. One of servitude, deprivation, loss. I want something better. That freedom my parents and grandparents told me about. I want the Federation back. I'll help. Just tell me what you need.
After explaining the situation to him, Sean goes off to make his move, and we're going to slip on by while the Tholian's distracted. Let's just hope it's a good one.
Freedom!
Well, that certainly was loud. Yes, and it looks like the guard's coming to investigate at least. I'm just going to casually walk on by.
Get down! You big salt shaker! You cannot win, Tholian!
Don't look this way, don't look this way, don't look this way. And go, 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 go!
You cannot win, Tholian!
Well, the keycard worked. Awesome. Now, there should be a duct around here we should use. I can't believe I'm doing this. I just can't say no, can I? I just get myself into all sorts of adventures and scraps, and next thing you know, the Norscrin's standing over you and you've got a broken arm and you're just lying there on the floor. Calm down, you can do this.
Well done. Those maintenance tunnels are a maze. They make navigating the Jeffries tubes on the Enterprise look easy. I recommend using the map to keep track of where you've been, what doors lead away from which room, and where you are currently.
Very well, I shall do just that.
We've hit a snag. There are Tholians in the control room. When they're in there, they pump in a Tholian-friendly atmosphere and raise the temperature. It will kill us if we try to enter. You'll need to replace the methane-based atmosphere with something we can breathe and lower the ambient temperature in the control room before we can continue as planned.
Why would the Tholians even build an environmental system that could freeze them, then explode them?
The Tholians are very precise. They want to learn everything they can about the ships they're capturing. All rooms connected to the hangars have their atmospheres exchanged to prevent damage to the systems they're dismantling for study. Also, sometimes they force humanoids to do the work for them, so they'll pump in something we can handle.
I guess that makes sense. Also, it's really hot in here, and I think I found a magic tribble. Tasha? Tasha, don't leave me alone with the tribble. Oh, great elder tribble, please share your wisdom. What's that? I'm talking to a tribble? Or maybe I've been in these access tunnels too long and it's the gas fumes? So wise. Eventually we find our way to an unsecured console, disable the safeties, and manage to convert the atmosphere from Class Y to Class M, suitable for humanoid life. This will, of course, the Tholians inside the room to either evacuate swiftly or explode into thousands of tiny shards. We also find a 23rd century captain in a yellow shirt called Jim, who is very, very dead. And I also find a very enticing looking treasure chest that I can't open no matter how much I pull on it. Guess I'll have to leave it here then. Okay, activate the environmental change and evacuate the Tholians. Oh. Oh no, they're not leaving. Oh. Oops. Well, we enter into the control room and it's a little toasty, but now it's Tholian free, and oh, holy shit, Tasha Yar was right. That's the Enterprise C, or at least a perfect copy. It's currently being held by Tholian tractor beams in an offline state behind closed hangar doors, but that's definitely an ambassador class and it says Enterprise on the hull. Right, we need to pop open the door to let in our colleagues.
I've engaged the security lockouts. That will buy us a little time.
We have 3 experienced Starfleet officers which we need to appoint to different roles.
My first posting in Starfleet was to an ambassador-class vessel. I am familiar with most of the ship's systems, but I spent several months working on a refit of the ship's computer. I am confident I can restore the ship's power levels quickly. Also, I do have some experience with Tholian technology from my time in the Resistance. If you prefer, I could attempt to deactivate the web shield or tractor beams.
We don't have much time. I know a few tricks to take that tractor beam system offline. I'm also fairly confident that with enough time, I can release the docking clamps holding the ship, or take down the Tholian's web shielding.
We need to work together. What do you want me to do? I was the helm officer on the Enterprise before everything went to hell, but I'm really handy with heavy machinery, like those clamps holding the ship. I know I can take care of those and get us free. If you need me to do something else, maybe I could work on that web shield. It will need to come down before we can fly out of here. Or the ship's power. I know every inch of the old girl. If I could figure out the Tholian interface, I might be able to connect to the ship and restore the power remotely.
We assign our tasks to our makeshift skeleton crew and set about aiding in the removal of the Tholian security to release the docking clamps.
Overriding security protocols. I'm changing the targeting subroutines for the tractor beams. Tractor beam is disabled.
It takes some time for Castillo and Tene to complete their tasks, but soon the Enterprise sees nacelles light up, the deck lights illuminate, and the tractor beam door shuts down, so we make a run for the docking umbilical. You know, We use the transporters so much we forget how big some ships actually are.
I thought you deactivated all the security protocols.
I did, at least all the ones that I found, but if you don't find something, then you don't know you've made a mistake. Wow, an Ambassador class, one of Starfleet's last dedicated explorer vessels. You know, the Galaxy class was basically a beefed up version of one of these. You know what? We have a job to do, I'll stop nerding out.
Do you want me to do that for you? I know a few things about force fields.
So do I. They flicker in, they're blue, sometimes orange, sometimes invisible when they go when you touch them. See? We're fine.
Having trouble? You do know that we could have Tholians swarming us any minute, right?
I swear to God, Sealer, if you don't shut up, I'm...
She's quite a ship. It's too bad we'll have to sacrifice her to restore the timeline.
Oh yeah, that is how this is supposed to end, right?
I thought we took care of everything. Starfleet Protocol 547-C clearly states...
I don't think the Tholians have heard of Protocol 547-C.
And neither have I, so let's just get on this ship and start pushing buttons. So, the USS Enterprise C, under the command of Captain Hale. You know, I'd make a really good Starfleet captain.
Captain, I'm detecting Tholian mesh weavers headed for our position.
A couple of weavers? You got the weapons online? Because we can take them out, no problem.
Tholian orb weavers on an intercept course.
Orb weavers? They're a little bigger, but you know what? I think this ship can still handle them. No problem. Just focus down on the other mesh weaver first.
Tholian recluses moving into weapons range, sir. I recommend evasive action.
Okay. Yes. Those are a little bit more powerful. Perhaps we shouldn't just engage them head on. Pull away, pull away.
Tholian tarantula on sensors.
Okay. Now we need to retreat. Where do we go? Where do we go to get the ship out of here? How do we restore the time? How do we fix this? Make things right. Oh great, more incoming. Wait a minute, what's... I don't recognise the silhouette of that ship. What is that?
A ship just appeared out of nowhere and destroyed that Tholian tarantula. I've never seen a ship of that configuration. Or one with that kind of fun.
Looks like you could use some help.
Whoever this mystery ship is, he's blowing up Tholians and seems to be on our side. The IFF reads as a Federation signature, the USS Pastak.
Phasers are partially offline. We'll need to work together to take out this last ship.
Never heard of it. Not even a USS registry for as long as I can remember. But it packs a punch and makes short work of the Tholians. Once the initial siege is subsided, we open a communications channel to find out just what the hell is going on.
Is clear, and the temporal anomaly has been stabilized. Head for the anomaly, Enterprise. It will put you back where you need to be.
Okay, who are you? What's that uniform? You're not part of Tasha's plan, so how the hell do you know where we're supposed to be? And what is that ship? Its slim profile makes it look like a circling shark, especially in the Azure Sea of this nebula.
That's my job. The details aren't important. Restoring the timeline is. Get moving. The Tholians are already starting to regroup.
Our mysterious escort points out a spatial disturbance not too far from us, and we set a course for it. Well, if I hadn't seen it with my own eyes, I wouldn't have believed it. Starfleet time cops or alternate universes and parallel dimensions, but you know what? This universe is not so great, so I'm okay with ending it. Oh, turbulence, spatial, Where am I? What am I doing here?
I'm sure you've realized by now, you're part of a very different timeline.
Ah, I'm special.
This one is an aberration that we are here to correct.
Also me.
It would be irresponsible of us to let you go back in time with the Enterprise C, and compromise that timeline as well.
Hey, what do you mean as well? What are you going to do with me then? Oi, neat trim, talking to you.
We'll send you back to your time. There are still some very important events in the 25th century that you need to be a part of.
Alright, so do I go back to my freighter or are you going to give me a lift?
As soon as the Enterprise C returns to its correct place in history, the timeline should right itself.
Alright, Captain LaForge says there was an anomaly in the Azure Nebula that we're supposed to be scanning for. I don't see anything. We make a thorough sweep of the area just to be safe, and Temet points out that she thinks she detected something, but it seems to have righted itself now. So, fine, just make a note in the log, I guess. Keep an eye out. We'll stay here for another few minutes or so, but this area looks fairly dull at the minute. Well, sorry about that, guys. I seem to have misjudged the episode length. I thought it was going to be a lot longer than it actually was, but we've only been here for like 3-4 minutes. I guess I'll see you next week for another episode of the continuing narrative of Star Trek Online. And until then, thanks for watching. I've been Rick, and goodbye.